Hello, this is Ivana.
This is Yao.
And you're listening to the podcast Life in Black and White.
And all the shades in between.
We share all things life, relationships, marriage, parenting, race, and much more. If you enjoy listening to us, then please follow or subscribe to this podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook under Life in Black and White. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Life in Black and White. I hope you missed us during the last 2 weeks. We surely did. How was your week, my friends? Our week or 2 weeks were all right. Our twins are currently in Slovakia with my family. So we only have one child, which is different.
Yeah.
It's a bit quiet here these days, but it's...
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Not complaining.
It's not a bad
having a little bit of...
Yeah. So no children are arguing or go crazy. Don't get me wrong. Having one is not easy. I'm not suggesting that. It's just different. Yeah. Well, different dynamics. So we actually have time for each other now.
Do we? Okay.
We get to talk in the evenings. Yeah. Instead of just passing out at 8 or 9 when you're lucky. So that is nice. Yeah. But other than that, we're just, enjoying the summer, Scottish summer as much as we can. And it's just nice. Today is sunny. So
right out.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's us. But today we're talking to a wonderful guest again, another wonderful guest, Hayden Griffiths, who is a father and a husband and a mindset coach with an incredible story that led him to this point of life. So I'll leave it to him to share his story with you. But I highly recommend you stick with us because it's just incredible. So hi, Hayden.
Hey, Ivana. How you doing? Hey, Al.
How are you?
I'm good. I just had a nap. I've had a very productive full week. And Saturday's my rest day. I just woke up.
No,
so my eyes are still a little blurry, but I'm with you.
No worries. We're all in the same boat. Yeah. We're all parents, so we don't have to pretend. It's just, all a bed of roses. Where are you based, Hayden?
I'm in Sheerness, down in East Kent in the UK.
Oh, nice.
Right on the coast. It's a gorgeous little city.
Florence, the lady we spoke to in the last episode, she was Kent, no? From Kent. So, and we love Kent. So it's not a coincidence. I wanted to move there, so it's like universe is sending all these messages. See?
We're going to have another conversation now about moving back down south and things.
Yeah.
So,
I would love that. But anyway, this is not.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful part of the world. There's some lovely people down here and a lot of productivity, which I enjoy.
Nice. So let's talk about you, Hayden. Share with us what you do, and then we move on to your story.
Yeah, I work with business owners, and I help them overcome things like fear, imposter syndrome, pressure, stress, that feeling that they don't have enough time or they're too busy, getting where they're stuck with dealing with all aspects of their business and their life, managing their family, their sales, their marketing, their team. So we get into the mindset that causes the problems. Often it comes from, we develop a mindset through our childhood, through our early years of our life, and the views, opinions, perspectives we hold don't serve us in creating the future we really want. They're perspectives of a child or someone in puberty or adolescence, and they don't work when we're a grown-up. So I guide them to discover what the underlying perspectives, decisions, opinions are, and then train them on how to remove them and create ones that actually match the future they want to live.
This is very powerful. And I think most people can resonate with this because who doesn't have, issues like from childhood or blogs? So this is amazing.
Yeah.
So you'd say that in business, and I fully agree with that. So I'm not even asking. I just want someone to agree with me in business. So it's more about the mindset rather than the strategy.
Bit of both.
Definitely. Yeah. Who we're being in business has a bigger impact on our results than what we do. When we're happy, successful, decisive, confident, free, lighthearted, easygoing, in communication. We're speaking our mind. It flows. It's easy. It's when we're stressed and worried and concerned and indecisive, and then it doesn't matter what we do. It's going to suck. Life sucks. Business sucks. We don't get the result we want. So it's all about who we're being and what's causing us to be who we're being that brings the greatest results, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Because your mindset impacts more than people realize, I'd say, no? It impacts your choices, your behavior, your
everything,
no?
everything,
So,
everything. Literally everything. You can very much look at the reality around you, and it's a product of your mindset. All of your behaviors, all of your feelings are stemming out of your mindset. If you think, there's one world, there's literally one world, and there's 7 or 8 billion people living in it. Why is it that everyone's having a different experience, making different decisions? And it's all a product of their mindset. When you align your mindset to the future, instead of it coming from your past being reactive, you can have everything you want. You can live a life you love. So it's all mindset. Everybody is, if you imagine a filter, we're taking in this information from our environment and it's being filtered through our mindset. So, and then we make a decision. So we're like, who we are, this conscious being, lives on the other side of this filter between the world. And if you're not aware of your filter and how you're processing the information your body's giving to you, you're just going to react out of decisions you made in the past. Decisions you have about men and women, how life is, who you are, what you're capable of, how to deal with things, what everything means. If you don't become aware of that filter, you're just reacting to these unconscious decisions and opinions from the past.
So what you help people with is to be aware of that filter and to remove it or to change it.
Yes, 100%.
Wow, that's incredible. You know what? I heard this philosophy once and I loved it, that what we see around us is just like you say, a reflection of mindset, but they compare it to dreams. Like you feel like you're in a movie, but it's all in your head. So so-called reality is the same. It's just all in your head. So what you perceive as real, it's just your real. And I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah. 100%. We're reacting to our perspective, not the world itself.
Yeah.
We're in our own dream in many ways. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. So let's talk about your story, your life story, and what led you to start doing what you do.
Yeah, cool. Well, when I was younger and in puberty, I was a junkie, and I was injecting drugs and drinking almost every day. And I saw a future where I was going to be dead or in jail. And I had thoughts, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'll never be loved, I don't belong here, I ruin my family. I had these horrible, nasty, destructive thoughts. And at that point in my life, they weren't just thoughts. They were the truth. I was listening to them as if they were real. And so then I saw everything around me from that view and experienced life from that view. My feelings matched, my behaviors matched. And it was my stepmother who came into the shower one day while I was showering. I was 16 years old. I'd been injecting drugs for 2 years. And she was crying. She had this DVD case. She was sat down on the bath, opened up this DVD case, tears rolling down her face. And she said, I don't know why you're doing this to yourself. You've always been a good boy. And that really hit me. Like, what if she's right? What if I'm not this worthless piece of that'll never be loved and never have a place in the world? What if I actually am a good person? What if I have this potential that other people tell me I have? And what if I do die or end up in jail, but I was wrong about who I was? And that questioning of my own thoughts was enough for me to stop hanging out with the friends that I was doing drugs with and started meeting new friends. And I saw like, well, I can actually be liked. And, I don't have to be who I was being. I could do something else. Maybe I am this good person. And that saved my life. That sent me on a new trajectory. And that was the start of me understanding that it was all in my head, that it wasn't real. Now, it wasn't it took another 16 years. That was about 16 years ago. And it wasn't a rapid change, but it was an ongoing. Other people saw potential in me and gave me opportunity, and I stepped up, and then I saw the potential. And it was that ongoing development of my own perspective till I got to about 28, and I was feeling lost and worthless, and like I still thought there was something wrong with me. I can't get my life together. I didn't get a high school certificate. I didn't go to university. But every company I worked for did extremely well, doubled in revenue, staff were happy. I thought there's something here I'm doing that's great. I can't go get a job as a manager or in corporate because I don't have the paperwork to say that I can, don't have the certifications. How do I apply myself in this ability and get paid well and live within all my values and do something that contributes to others? And for about 2 years, I felt very lost. I'd be driving down the highway some days thinking, might I just pull over and pull off into a telegraph pole, get this over and done with, stop wasting your time, And I was lucky. A friend said to me, hey, there's this group on Facebook and it's a coaching group and they'll offer you free coaching. Why don't you just put your name in and see what they say? And I thought, sure, I'll give it a go. I was really uncomfortable. I didn't like putting myself out there, but you know what? Face your fear, Hayden. Let's see what turns up. And I sat in a couple of conversations with some coaches and I thought, you're telling me that people will pay me to sit and chat and listen and tell them things. And I could do that as a job and I don't need any certification. There's no regulatory body and I can get started today. And I thought, this is the best thing ever, this is what I'm going to do. So I started studying coaching like a maniac, reading all the books, taking online courses, getting certified however I could. I just picked up my phone and started calling people. Hey, would you like a complimentary coaching session? I'm a coach now, and some people said yes. So I just started doing it. And this is the interesting part, I got fired from nearly every job I ever had. And one of the old managers I called and said, would you like a complimentary coaching session? And he did it with me. And the second time he came to do a session, he opens up this pamphlet and it's got this list of company values on there. And I was like, oh, these are amazing. What is this company? And it was the largest business coaching organization in the world. And he said to me, hey, I'm going to start this franchise in town. Would you like to start it with me? I'm going to buy this franchise and start it. Would you like to do it with me? And I was like, he's like, yeah, I'll pay for your training, $12,500, and I'll pay for the business, which was another $90,000. And you can come along and be a coach with me. I was like, oh, what a gift, So then I studied, got certified as a business coach, started coaching business owners, kept with the ongoing training in business. So I learned I had no idea about business at all. I got to learn all about it, but it wasn't authentic. I was attracting business owners, coaching them on their mindset. And so eventually I left working with him. It wasn't working out because I wasn't doing what I said I should be doing. And I kept going with mindset. And here we are today. Now I've found this career I love and I contribute to people. I'm with all my values. I provide my family. We retired my wife at the start of the year.
Wow.
We travel the world. We've lived in Australia and Canada. We now live in England. We're looking to live in Portugal or Spain or Italy next. So yeah, we travel the world. I find people wherever we are. Never had a website. I'm just starting to work on one now. It's all been networking, word of mouth. Just starting social media. I started 2 weeks ago on TikTok, and not for the purpose of attracting clients, but for the purpose of taking what's working and then just giving it away, giving it to the world, making an impact globally is my next step. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal journey.
Wow. Yeah. So how many years did this take? I know it wasn't overnight, but how long did you get where you are now?
Yeah, I've been practicing professionally for about 4 years, getting closer to 5.
Wow. That's so short. That's amazing. Because many business owners struggle with, like getting the money, like the basic stuff. So what would you say was the biggest, we talked about this beginning debate, but what was that one thing that you believe made all the difference for you?
There's a training program called the Landmark Forum, and they have the best training in the world. And I really discovered who I am, what wasn't working in my life, how I was causing it not to work through their training. I did one of their programs, the advanced course, and in that program, like before, I was afraid to talk to people. I was a coach. I was coaching people. They were getting great results, but I was afraid to go out there and, talk to new business owners. I was terrified. And then in the advanced course, Landmark's advanced course, I had it that I was a fake and a phony. Yeah. And the leader said, what's the impact you have on your clients? And when I stopped looking at I'm a fake and a phony, and I started to look at, oh my God, I transformed their life. Like, they're happy, they're successful, they're wealthy, they fall in love, they get healthy. Like, oh my God, that fake and phony disappeared. And I got as many clients in 2 weeks after the advanced course as I did in the 2 years before the program. So Landmark, I would say, has had the biggest impact on my business. Yeah.
It was mostly your mindset that shifted, no? More than anything.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Shift my mind, and everything flowed. When the mind's in order, everything flowed. There's no resistance. There's no fear anymore.
Yeah.
I know what I'm up to. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going because I got this in order. Yeah.
Yeah. And you made a good point there, because I think that most business owners focus too much on themselves. Like, how do I look? What will people think? Yeah. And they don't focus fully on the customers or clients or the audience. And you made a very good point that this can make all the difference when you make it about them rather than about you, right? But what really got my attention as well, like what you were saying earlier, I didn't want to interrupt you, is how, because I understand that it was your stepmom's comment that really clicked. Yeah.
Yes. Saved my life. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Very lucky.
And can make all the difference. Why do you think it was that specific thing she said that just clicked? It's hard to say.
That's a great question. Yeah. It was the rawness of it, the realness, there was no false pretenses. She wasn't doing it for her. She was simply like really expressing what she was dealing with. And that hit me, that realness of it.
Yeah.
When I suppose when I thought, I can't be loved. I'm not lovable. I'm not worth it. When someone's willing to put themselves, walk into the bathroom, that's an odd thing to do. That's, there's got to be something to be overcome there, and then express fully what they're dealing with. I think that really hits when we're on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That really hits us.
On your journey, there's a lot to unpack. It seems like you've had to, you get to the point where, you get your confidence, and then, you get to a certain point, and then you need to build your confidence, your resilience.
Yeah.
The vulnerability and things that you've had to kind of put out to the world as well in order for you to move forward. Do you think that's a big factor in what you do? Are you quite an open person? You seem quite open and stuff from persons and things.
Yeah.
Relate.
I can definitely be inappropriately open. It's something sometimes I have to reel it in, and it definitely is part of my strength as well. When I'm putting everything out there, it creates a space where other people feel safe to do it too. They're like, oh, I'm not the only one dealing with it. I can share what's really going on for me too. Yeah. So it works in coaching to be this open, this vulnerable. And it is a great strength. People often see it as a weakness. And I say to them, well, is it easier to be vulnerable, or is it easier to be guarded in the short term? And most people would say, well, it's easier to be guarded than it is to put it all out there. I say, great, that's it. It's a strength. to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Not a weakness at all. And actually, when you look at the impact of being guarded and the impact of being vulnerable, being guarded is actually harder in the long term. It makes your life harder because people don't get to know the real you. You don't get to express your true view. So you're constantly bottling things up and afraid, and people are knowing this masked version of you. You never get to be truly connected with people when you're not vulnerable. So vulnerability is a great strength, and definitely has been part of my journey and part of my success. Yeah.
Vulnerability builds, you mentioned safety, but psychological safety, wherever you are, wherever you go, people open up, more willing to talk about their, not failures, but things that maybe, like you said, they would be more guarded up against.
It is. And I think it's the society that creates this pressure to have it all, to be always happy, to not show anger. They see anger, for instance, as a bad thing, no? And it's awful. You feel like you shouldn't feel like certain things like jealousy, anger, guilt, but it's all normal feelings. So I think it's this pressure, no, to what do you think creates this pressure? Is it just the environment, or?
It's our perspective of the environment. It's our perspective of how we think we should behave. So all of our experience, all the feelings, all the emotions are created right here. So we perceive the world to be a certain way. We perceive we need to be a certain way to fit into that world. So it's all right back here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not out there.
Yeah.
The society occurs different to every person. Everyone has their own view.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the pressure we create usually comes from expectations. Like, I should be this way. I shouldn't be that way. And then what it means to us if we don't meet those expectations. That's where we feel this pressure, because we've got these rules we've constructed through our life that we have to meet. And so there's no freedom in that. We feel trapped in that. That's where the pressure comes from. And when we become aware of those rules and these standards, these expectations we've created, we can set ourselves free, and then we're just free to be again. And then we remove the pressure. So.
And it also takes a lot of energy, no? When we always put certain masks on, like you feel low, and go shop and you feel, I should, in case I meet someone, I need to, come across as I'm okay, or be scared that people will see our vulnerabilities, and it takes a huge amount of energy, isn't it? And then it impacts, like you said, everything.
It's like you're on stage all the time. You're acting all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Acting on performance, instead of just being in life. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to learn this, but now when I feel shit, I just show it. Yeah. I don't, depends, of course, like if I was the business or something, of course. Yeah. Within reason, but I don't hide from close people anymore. I show them, and it's so liberating. You're so true, no? So in your experience, because I'm sure you work with many, many people. So what, in your experience, is the most common issue people deal with or struggle with?
Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. In business, let's look at the different stages. So people go from, if you look through life, we're born, we know nothing. We start life very much as a child, free and exploring and playing. And then we start to become a student of life. We start to learn lessons. We start to create our own rules. We start to learn how to fit in, how to behave. After student, we become an employee or a worker. And so then we learn to start producing, being responsible, being held accountable to someone else. And these are the stages I work with people when they're going from that employed to self-employed. They're usually dealing with stuff like time management, decision making, learning to trust themselves and face their fears. That's that's typically what's there at that stage from employee to self-employed. So learning to be decisive, learning to be courageous, and learning to be in action with the work that actually gets results. Then they'll go from self-employed to manager. They'll start leading a team. And it's there they really need to learn about communication, how they're being responsible for their ideas, making sure their team are getting them and understanding them from their perspective, that communication is actually taking place. They're not just speaking. They need to learn about who they're being as the role model, how their behaviors are going to be reflected through their company. So very much who they're being is going to be what the company looks like. After that stage of manager and that leadership that they develop, it's about letting go. It's about, okay, how do I develop leaders? Not just people to do the job, but leaders. How do I step back from the business? Stop thinking things like, I need to do this, to the business needs this and who can do it. So they're the stages I guide people through. What everyone deals with as they're going through those stages are thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't have enough time, I have to do it now, I need to. So we train them on the language and how the language is impacting what they experience and the actions they take. Everyone needs that training. They deal with thoughts like, I can't, I won't, I'm unable to, that's not for me. So they're very much stuck in past-based thinking from earlier years in life. And everyone's got that going on. It's fascinating how common I'm not worthy and I'm not worthy and I'm not good enough is. It's almost everyone has that and deals with that in their life. And it's a very interesting thought because it produces result. I'm not worthy causes people to prove themselves. So they're constantly looking to be the best in the room and, get 100% in any of their exams. And so there's this benefit to these, what would you call them? Not unhealthy, but almost painful thoughts that we have. I'm not good enough causes people to do more. Better, improve. So it drives them to success. The problem with these thoughts that people have is when they get there, they can't appreciate it because underneath all the success, the I'm not worthy or the I'm not good enough is still functioning. So they're still, okay, I need to do more. I need to get there. I need to do better. Life is always about something in the future, not right here, right now. Yeah. When they can get that those thoughts aren't the truth and they remove worthiness, they remove good enough altogether. It's not about proving yourself. It's not about being good enough. It's not about being worthy. It's about something else. It's about being something else. Then they're like, oh, wow, look at all this success. Look how successful I really am. Then they can hit their goals from a place of inner peace. And that's the goal. Then they can see that, wow, the life I'm living is what I dreamed about 5 years ago. So I'm literally living my dream and building my dream at the same time. And that's where we want to get people to, that place of peace and appreciation.
Yeah, because when you feel like you're not good enough, then nothing you'll do that you think will help you to feel enough.
Never. Yeah. They're in that trap, that loop, and they're on that hamster wheel. Just go. Yeah.
Do you feel, has there been a moment in your kind of career and things where you've hit a brick wall with someone or someone that you're coaching or something has hit a brick wall? How have you kind of helped them? How have you coached them to kind of, because that's the thing, isn't it? The thing about mentors or coaches and things is it allows you to get out of your own head.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have an example or an experience where you've, it hasn't gone as linear and, straight up, but actually you'd have to kind of go to the tangent and stuff for them to really kind of understand and gain the confidence in order for them to kind of.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm excited to answer that actually. And this is the sucky part of life. And here it is. Okay. This is the unfun truth. there is no breakthrough without a breakdown. Yeah. So there is no confidence unless you face your fear. There's no power unless you really face those parts of yourself that are getting in the way, that you don't like, that there's things in your past you're ashamed of and you're uncomfortable with sharing. Like to get to the other side of confidence, freedom, and power is through the mud. It's messy. It's nasty. My wife a couple of weeks ago discovered she doesn't need to work anymore. She doesn't need to produce income. She just realized she didn't trust me to produce income. And she finally saw that, oh, wow, actually, you've got this. And that what happened 2 days later was she started getting migraines and being physically ill and vomiting, because it's like, well, now what do I do with my life? So there was a very physical breakdown for her. And what was underneath all of that illness that she was manifesting was she had this idea that she's a joke. If she's not working, then she's just a joke. So when we worked through her resistance to having the conversation and her headache and her physical illness, when she got to see that, oh, actually, I'm not a joke. This is my choice. I'm a mother. This is my life. All the illness disappeared. Mm-hmm. So it's like before we can go up, we got to go down. We got to before we have any progress, we got to break down and remove what's already there and getting in the way. And that can be really uncomfortable. A lot of these views, these perspectives of who we are, we've held on to for decades. Sometimes, or even how other people are or how the world is. We've held on to these views for decades, and they can be hard to confront and let go of. Yeah, we can be very attached to them. And we have to reshape our mind for almost a new reality in a way.
It's probably our safe space up until that point, up until you go out of that comfort zone. That's our safe spot that we understand and, it's
familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It must be scary. Yeah. But how do you find out? I'm just wondering, how do you find out what's the underlying belief behind your physical symptoms?
Training, get the training and development. There's no self-discovery alone. That's the interesting thing about being human is we only discover ourselves when we're with others. And we can do that through their books, through their podcasts, through their videos. It's best done with a trained professional, someone who's been through it before and can guide you through it. Yeah. So coming back to what you were asking, the way I guide people, I can hear it. I can hear what's going on. I know how to guide their mind to, okay, there's something there. Let's take that deeper. Where did you first experience that feeling in your life or that thinking before? Let's look into your past and see what's there. And there'll be a moment where this way of being, this way of thinking, this way of acting, this way of feeling turned up, and we deal with that moment. So as they're going through it, because it's a roller coaster, all the emotions are coming up, the memories, I'm that firm guide. I'm standing strong, and I'm standing strong I know there's something on the other side of this that you can attain. We don't know what it is yet, but it'll be some new level of power or freedom or happiness that you haven't currently got. And so, because I've gone through it, I'm so grounded in we can get you there. And so I'm that firm rock as they're going through all the turmoil. I'm like, let's keep going all the way. We're not going to stop. Yeah. And then they break through to the other side, and that's where like relief and freedom and lightness exists. Yeah. So that's how we get them there.
Well, when we look at children, they're the proof that we were born perfect, isn't it? Yeah. They love themselves. They don't know what not believing in themselves even mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were like that. So something must have gone wrong along the way. So I always
But I don't think it's wrong.
No, it's not.
It's not wrong.
It's just how it is.
Yeah. It just is. Yeah. It's just how it is. It's the human condition.
Yeah.
It's just the human condition. Yeah.
Basically help people to get in the state they were born in. Put very simply.
Yeah, essentially, that's it. Isn't that fascinating? We're born perfect. No right or wrong, no good or bad, no fear, no confidence, just, we see things, we act, just perfect. And then and we unconsciously create this construct in our mind that starts to run us.
Yeah.
And some of us are lucky enough to start to discover that construct and deal with it and remove it. And then at the end of our life, we're back to just being again. And that's why we see these old people that just smile and they're happy and they're content and they're loving and they're laughing. And that's the state to get back to. And then we die.
Yeah.
Just when we get
We've
it.
got it. Okay. So like,
Yeah.
I always wonder why is it this way? Why? Like, what's the point?
Don't go there. Don't go there. Why is often an inappropriate question. Yeah, it'll get you reasons, excuses, justification. And guess what? They're all made up. They make no difference to it.
True. Love that.
Just is. Acceptance is the key. Acceptance is the key to peace. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. I love that.
Don't go looking.
Yeah.
Why won't make a difference? It'll still be there. Why is there gravity? Well, who cares? There's gravity.
Or who am I? I just am. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, you just don't.
Yeah. So true.
You are whatever you say you are.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So how do you work with people? Do you do one-to-ones and the group sessions, or?
It's all one-to-one currently. I'm learning to present to groups and write currently so I can move into that global leader space over the next 5 years. I haven't currently hit my limit of one-to-one coaching. I'm on the cusp of hitting that. That's my goal this year has been, I want to coach over 100 people and I want to see how many one-to-one coaching sessions I can do a week before I'm like, this is too much. And then I'll adapt. So I'm very much a believer of push the boundary, find where it is, have the breakdown and cause a breakthrough. Don't assume I know how much I can do because I keep proving myself wrong what I thought I was capable of. When I started coaching, 5 clients, I was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm so overwhelmed, And now I've got, as of yesterday, I have 44 clients who I do one-to-one coaching with. And it's easier than when I started.
Really?
Who knows what my limits are? I'll only find them by pushing them. Yeah.
Do you find that with your coaching as such, the fact that you've gone through with so many, that's more at an ease with the actual, you said before you went.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Once you kind of went through and you kind of, because the unknown, like you said, the expectations and stuff that you have in those situations mean that your brain probably all over the shop and stuff. But once you get that kind of familiarity and, like you say, you get the start understanding, start seeing how people are, how they're talking, how they're sitting, and
definitely. Almost tuning and wiring my brain for coaching, for I can just hear it, and then the things to say just turn up, and then I say them. Like the thought, it's almost as if I'm not thinking. Something's now hearing what's going on, putting the thought in my mind, and then I choose to speak it. And it's usually the right thing to say with my clients now. So yeah, I'm mastering the profession of coaching. That's been my goal for this decade. And I'd love to share this idea with you. I looked at my idols. I looked at Jordan Peterson, Gandhi, Martin Luther King. I looked at these great men and I was like, okay, how did they get to that level of influence where they can impact the world? And I was like, okay, so they started as, like everyone, as a student. They studied their profession. Jordan Peterson was a psychologist or a psychiatrist, one of the two. Gandhi was a lawyer. Martin Luther was as a preacher, and they really mastered not their philosophies and the understanding of language at a basic level in law, in preaching, in psychology. So they mastered that first. They got the study and the information in, and then they started practicing one-to-one as a lawyer, as a psychologist, as a preacher, being with people and influencing them. And then as they mastered that one-to-one interaction, they learned things about people, and then they could start to share those things they learned in front of a group. And Jordan Peterson became a professor, and Gandhi, started to speak to groups. I was like, okay, so that's the process to that level of greatness. That's what I got to take. I got to take those steps. So at the start of 30, I was like, okay, I have to be a master coach. I have to coach I have to be almost like a whore. I need to just take on everyone and anyone. No money doesn't matter. Just give it to me. Let me coach everyone I possibly can. And that's the approach I took on. If I invest everything I can into this, I'll master this. It'll pay off in the future. And then I looked at Elon Musk and I saw, first he invested a huge chunk of his life to develop PayPal. He got 180 million or 150 million in return for that investment, developing his skills and ability, building this product. Then he took that 180 million and invested 7 years of his life, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 7 years to build Tesla, while the world was saying, don't invest in Tesla. It's a terrible purchase. It'll never go anywhere. So, okay, so I have to invest everything I possibly can if I want to reach that level of greatness in my life. And I have to master that one-to-one interaction. I have to get people at the deepest level, really understand what's going on for them and what they're dealing with, and then I'll be able to share that with the world. So that's the process I've been taking. That's the trajectory I'm on. Yeah, and it's working. Yeah, it's really working. Wow. I think many people miss that. I see people want to be influencers because they see the end product of these successful people, but they don't think about what it takes to get there. You got to be willing to go through. If you imagine you have your vision and there's this destination you want to reach, be this person in the world. There's a very real distance between where you are now, who you're being, and where you want to be. And there's a certain amount of mistakes along the way that need to be made. If you're not willing to get on the field and lose and make mistakes, then you'll never win. You'll never win the championship. You've got to play the game. You've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to risk looking bad and sucking and getting it wrong and having people laugh at you and people tell you, don't do it. Just go be normal like everyone else. Like you got to face all that stuff if you want that level of greatness in life and influence in life. So yeah, I'm willing to look terrible. I'm willing to suck.
That's good.
Yeah, take a risk.
Wow. I want to talk to you every day.
Don't worry, I think she's a potential client, so be ready. Be ready.
You should, because you're too hard on yourself, Angel.
Anyway. If you had an impact statement from your life and you thought, you know what, if there was the one thing that I was going to give to the world, I understand that your trajectory and, where you want to go to, and, hand on heart, I wish I can see your determination and your ambition to do that. And that's amazing. But if there was one thing that you could do to change someone's life, it's just happening to listen to this, what do you think it would be? What's that thing?
Yeah. The real difference I want to make in the world is I want people to understand themselves, how their perspective is causing their reality, how their perspective is causing what they feel, what they do, and the results they get. I don't get why understanding ourselves isn't the first thing we're learning in school, alongside English and maths. Like, why isn't how the mind works, how we create our feelings?
I couldn't resist.
Go on.
Yeah, I don't get that. It makes no sense to me. So what I really want to do in the world is I want people to get the importance of doing self-development, self-discovery, reading, talking to people really, I want the world to get that, how important it is. Imagine if I never got that, I would be dead or in jail. How many people, how many lives are we losing? How many untapped potentials are there in the world because people never learn this stuff? If we could, imagine if we could, we get an Einstein every now and then, but what if we could turn 10% more people into their true geniuses? What would happen to the world? That's what I would love to see. I'd love to see that this understanding of oneself is part of our curriculum. It becomes a normal instead of this self-help. Oh, you're one of those self-help persons. Like, well, if you're not going to help yourself, who's going to help you? I really get annoyed with that, but if that self-development became as standard as English and maths, and these types of conversations about who we are, how our thinking impacts us was just normal, what I think it would revolutionize humanity. And I'd love to see that and be a part of that.
And it doesn't matter what you do. If it's a love of something that you want to do, doing that is amazing. Like you said, having Einsteins in so many different fields and things would be absolutely amazing. And they're there, but amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh man, we could do so much good. Yeah. If we had an education system where children could pursue what they love, like I loved maths and science. I loved it, what a nerd. But if I pursued that with the intensity instead of hating school, and because it will balance out. We think we need to give everyone this broad education, and that's like the opposite of democracy. Democracy is you focus on what you want, you become the best in the world, and when you're the best and I'm the best, what we can do together is 1,000 times greater. If we're all okay at stuff, we're just missing so much potential. If we let children pursue their passion, yes, some would pursue art, some would pursue acting, some would pursue sport, some would pursue maths, some would pursue English. It would balance out. Yeah. And then we'd be bringing this greatness, this potential of humanity to the surface, and we would change the world. It would be phenomenal. People would be happy. People would actually be happy doing what they love. Oh, wouldn't that be terrible?
It's so powerful.
Yes.
So powerful.
I think what gets in the way most people is, apart from what we already mentioned, is what other people say to them. No?
Yeah.
Plus our filters, although it's a big part of it. But say, I have a big mindset, say, and then someone says something that makes it smaller. But again, probably it comes down to your own filters, because if you don't have them, then no comment will ever get to you.
Yeah.
Just speak out loud here, but if
you're self-aware, you can hear. It's not just what people say to you, but then it's what you interpret that to mean. So your mother says, "Oh, don't do that," and then you hear, "Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm not good enough. I'm always wrong. I can never do what I want." So all that turns up from that simple statement. With self-awareness, you can start to distinguish the two and throw out all the stuff you made up and just be with what was actually said and deal with it. Mm-hmm. So there's layers to listening that people are unaware of. And we don't have to take on what other people say, other people's perspective. We have a choice. Yeah.
Well, maybe just one last question I have for you is, does our mindset impact other people's behavior towards us?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So if you imagine, we could do I'll show you this right now. So think about how you think about each other, the perspective you have. Yeah.
I shouldn't say that one then.
Yeah. You've got this view of your partner. Now, when you think of them that way, that causes you to be a certain way. So let's say the current mindset is, "Oh, she's the best person in the world. I absolutely love her." That causes you to feel loved, to feel warm in your chest. You feel, relaxed and at ease. And then when you're being that way, you interact with that person a certain way. So that interaction then impacts them to be a certain way. Now, let's say all of a sudden what pops up into your mind, they do something or say something you don't like, and then all of a sudden, oh, that arsehole, what a piece of, why are they always saying that? Why can't they just leave me in peace? Don't they know how tired I am after work? And you've got all this going on in your mind all of a sudden, all this perspective. And then all of a sudden you become frustrated and angry, and, you got some tension across your chest and some stress building across your forehead. And then you become a certain way again. And so then you're interacting with the person from this space, and that's going to then impact them. So we are very much causing the reality around us based on how we're reacting to our perspective, our thoughts, our reactions. Yeah, very much so.
Sorry, but if someone really is an asshole, say, I don't mean you, don't worry.
It's all right. It's okay.
So doesn't it justify their actions if we don't get angry with them, or if we just let them do whatever?
Cool. Here's the cool thing, right? As soon as you call someone an asshole, who are you being?
An asshole.
Yeah. So now you're being this righteous, judgmental, superior asshole, because I'm so much better than them. I need to tell them what an asshole they're being. They need to change. They're the problem. And so you're now this victim of them instead of, oh, wow, look at my reaction. I don't agree with their behavior. And instead of just becoming an asshole yourself, you can choose something else to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we become the very thing we see out there, which you were saying earlier. We are just a reflection. The world is reflecting ourselves back at us. The other thing about that, when you remember when you were a kid and there's nothing on your mind, there were no asshole. So at some point in your life, something happened, often with a parent or an ex-partner or a teacher, and you ended up with that behavior, that action means asshole.
Right.
Yeah. And when you go back and deal with that moment in your life from the perspective of the person you are today, instead of reacting to that moment from the perspective of that moment when you're a child, you can deal with it. And that frees you up from that reaction you have in your present life. Yeah. And so you don't even see asshole anymore. It's gone. And you can start to be with anything instead of being a reaction.
So if I'm nagging him, does it not mean I should work on myself as well?
Oh, well done. Absolutely well done.
Or should he work on his reaction?
I think that first one is exactly what it is.
Or both.
And I think we're going to end it. No, I'm joking. Go on, please.
No, just like who should change? Me?
It's not changing though, is it?
Or improve or grow.
But we both would have to grow because we're both going into something.
Yeah.
Something that annoys you that I understand annoys you. Maybe there's something there I need to work on. But then there's also an ability from why does that annoy me so much?
Yeah.
So you grow together.
Grow
together.
Yeah.
If your one grows and the other doesn't, you're growing apart.
Yeah.
So it's very much we do this. We grow together. Yeah. That's the way to have relationships work.
Thank you.
And obviously from our perspective, it's always just the love bit. There's no asshole or anything bits and stuff in our, it's absolutely fine. I just want to make sure that's
no asshole never.
Really? You guys are an exception because there's definitely bitch and asshole in my relationship with my wife. Definitely. It turned up this morning, actually.
This has been amazing, Hayden. Thank you so much. And I'm speechless, to be honest with you. So much to think about and reflect on. And actually, you are the proof now that of the power of this work, because before we hop on the call, you were in a very bad and low energy.
Oh no!
And now you
absolutely picked up my energy.
Yeah,
and now
you
cool. Yeah,
no, but your energy was very low, and you didn't look good. Just put it that way. But now it's like your expression changed, your color.
Oh.
I know it sounds weird.
Don't worry, we'll edit that one out and stuff as well.
No, I mean your skin tone again.
No.
You have healthier color now. A little finish.
Okay. Yeah. may need a bit more than 9 months of this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got a firecracker on our hands, eh?
Okay. I forgot what I was saying now.
I think.
That the power of this work, because your energy changed during that hour. So and we didn't really coach you. So can you imagine what miracles Hayden can do when you actually coach?
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
Miracles, definitely.
Yeah. So tell our listeners, please, where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, Hayden Griffiths. Look up mindset and performance coaching. I'm also on TikTok. Just started on TikTok. So short, sharp videos, sharing things that'll make a difference to you, things that'll shift your perspective, cause you to see new things in life. I'm also building currently a landing page. So that'll have all the information, how to get in contact with me. And if you want to join my emailing list, I send out a weekly email with things to shift your mindset in important areas of life. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Standing up today. I hope you found this useful, my friend. We really enjoyed this episode so much, and I believe you have as well. And if you liked it, then please share it with your friends and family. And don't forget, I have to say, to leave us a review, because it really, really helps to get this podcast discovered. Thank you so much, and see you in 2 weeks.